Ready? We are live. So check
Oh,
it out. We are starting right now. So there's only 4 weeks.
really? I didn't want that to stop. Bam, 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 dun, 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 It's not better than Rihanna, though. Not better than Rihanna.
I'll wait. So
All
4
right.
weeks left of this year. So if you're doing an open house this Saturday, you're only going to get 4 more left. And we're just going to do some babble about some real estate. We're going to have a special guest come on in a little bit, Elena, and we're going to ask her some questions of why she made the move over to EXP. But just talking about like the end of 2020. We started this year. Remember, I started this year talking about this could be the last good year. That was like my first podcast I did of the year, and here we are. And it ended up pretty. I know for some people it wasn't like a great year, but I thought it was a great year. We had some challenges and stuff like that, but I really think that for those who wanted it and they got it and did what they had to, it was a great year.
Agreed.
But I feel like 2021, now that we're figuring some stuff out and like we really get to go into our overdrive. So I'm excited about 2021 and what we got going on. So check it out. I'm not going to get out of this conversation without talking about your cry session that you had about a year and a half ago when we were making this move.
We prepared for this moment, and not one time did you mention that you were going to bring that up. I need to be like mentally prepared for you to ever bring up that story, because I don't cry, damn it.
I've got like a list of stuff that I don't talk to you about, and I plan on talking about, including your childhood trauma that you had and how that made you who you are. So get ready. So anyway, for real though, 4 weeks left. You ready for Christmas?
No, but I have my things up, so halfway there. I just got to do presents and shopping. I really don't like shopping though, so we'll see.
I love it. I love shopping. It's
really. I'm gonna give you the list so you can go get stuff for me. Give you the list and the money.
I love shopping in 2020 because in 2021, because here's the deal, it's all online these days. They just bring it to me. Like I Black Friday shop, but anyway, let me ask you a question. And this is a really great question for those people who are in real estate. How do you do real estate this last month of the year?
It's funny because I was just talking about this. This is my busiest time of the year. I love this time of the year. And really a lot of agents are really kind of taking it smoothly because the myth is that it's slow this time of year. But I'm getting calls from people wanting to move, from family members that are in town wanting to see houses that they saw on the same street. I mean, I'm pretty busy. So, I mean, I'm just grateful, just really taking advantage. And when just really taking advantage of the seasons and the holidays, you gotta know that there's opportunities out there. Once you know that and believe that, you'll find them.
So yeah, I even found myself taking a listing this week. I know you just took a listing this week too. And like, I feel like, for those people who are in real estate, who just put their hands up and say, hey, you want to go take a look at this house?
Yeah.
People are like, hey, I got some time. Let's go do that. Right. There's a bunch of different ways to get people excited about, real estate in this time of year. Yeah. But, people, it's funny because I feel like there's so many distractions that people actually need a distraction. And just invite them, hey, let's have some coffee. Let's get together. Let's just take a few minutes off the grid a little bit. Let's do some goal strategy planning. I feel like this time of year, my favorite thing to ask people, because, real estate's about planting seeds. My favorite thing is like, hey, just out of curiosity, you know what? I got to do it. Hold on. I got to do it. Just out of curiosity. What's your goal for 2021? And does it include real estate? Have you thought about becoming an investor? Like, I love asking people that question anyway, but this time of year, it's almost not even creepy if you ask it. You're like, hey, what's your goal for next year?
I mean, literally, that's all I do. Hey, I have a goal. I like to share my goals first, right?
Okay,
so I say, like, it's really just simple. Like, hey, so I have a goal of helping 10 families next year with whatever their real estate goals are. And asking, like, literally, do you know anyone that has real estate as a goal next year? And you'll be surprised, I think a lot of people get stuck in like their own beliefs. Like, what if someone asked me that? And this is how I would respond. And I wouldn't like that. And I wouldn't give a name out. But you're helping people. I mean, I can't say always is a strong word, but there's a lot of the time when I'm asking that question, I'm helping people. Like, people are like, oh my God, I never thought of that, or whatever. And I can kind of make a plan with them, like guide them on their journey, right?
It's funny how many people will just like kind of figure it out on the spot. I feel like when you ask people those questions, like they're not really thinking about that, but as you ask them those questions, they're like, yeah, you know what? I do want more. I do want a bigger kid. It's just like curiosity. Do you love where you live? Not really. Actually, I'm dying inside. I hate this fucking place. Like all of a sudden, they're like these emotions start coming out. I was like, I wasn't even thinking about that. Right. I think back in my career and how many people actually own a home now, only because I intercepted them and just started asking questions, and I was just curious, and all of a sudden they just made the move.
Right.
You just put somebody in a position to allow themselves to desire more and give them the opportunity.
Right.
So, before we bring on our guest, I just want some reflection from you. You're a year and a half now into EXP, and before we were in EXP, we're in a model, and we're all doing very well. And we decided to make the move over. You're a year and a half in. Let's just tell the truth, if you don't mind. I just want you to be raw. I want people to actually understand. People bounce around all the time from model to model and stuff like that, but you've only done it once. You started with one model, mm-hmm. exit, and then you decided to move into EXP. Can you give some reflection about that decision, and maybe your apprehension to make a change into EXP, and where do you feel like you're at right now?
So a lot of people will tell you the story of when I joined EXP, I couldn't not think about it, right? I saw the model of EXP and was like, oh, hell no, not interested, not happening, just not happening. I wasn't with it. So I actually really did, want to go do my due diligence. I think any real estate agent can relate to that. The fact that, why am I so zoomed in right now, Gil? Because I'm really zoomed in right now. Thank you. Right. So I think any real estate agent can relate to the fact that, like, when you're making a brokerage change, it's a big decision, right? At least for me, and I know a lot of my peers think the same way. And for, when I was introduced to EXP, it kind of just fell on my lap. I wasn't, there wasn't someone that was with EXP trying to get me to join, that kind of thing. So I didn't like it. And frankly enough, I just went on and started looking into other what I thought were competitive brokerages that had good potential for me, growing with them. And it really just boiled down to, I'm a very visual person, so I have to write things down to really let it sink in. And so it really just boiled down to me writing down all the numbers and just writing down like what I see myself doing here compared to here. And when I really did that, and through some prayer, I made the decision to join EXP.
But I mean, just out of curiosity, you're a year and a half now into this, and I get that, you were not a bandwagon fan about making the move over. No, you questioned it, and you were really more afraid of like the culture changing and things of that nature. But like a year and a half into it, I mean, is it any different than, any other brokerage? I mean,
what I will say is, in my life in general, I guess like a general rule of thumb, just from when I was a little kid, is like, you really do become who you hang around with. And the time that I had been with EXP, it kind of just fell on my lap. I didn't want to be with someone that was with EXP trying to get me to join, that kind of thing. So I it's just really plugging in not only into what we have going on, our culture, but plugging into, Gil Ramos, Veronica Figueroa, Carlos German, freaking Jake Hinder, Michael Reese, like plugging into them and like being part of their sphere. And what that has done for my business, I was able, first of all, cap on my first year. I capped on my second year. I've never done that with my model before. And I'm doing pretty well as far as my business has been growing ever since I joined EXP, like a lot.
That sounds kind of like, if you don't mind me asking, it almost sounds like a setup and it's gimmicky, to be very frank with you. So
okay.
like, because like you never capped in your old model. You worked in that model for almost 5 years and you never capped. You move over to EXP and then blah, 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 you start capping. Like, how does that happen? Like, what changed all of a sudden that now you move into a model where most people say all we ever do is recruit? How do you go in there? And by the way, just to be very transparent, my business tripled inside of my first year of moving into EXP. You can look my numbers up, right? So my team was more productive. We started producing at a higher level. We started adding people to the team. We're adding a new team in January. We're actually hiring 30 agents to be on an exclusive team. It's a $100 million team. So I'm curious, why did your business go up?
For me, it was the mindset shift. That sounds real cliche, right? But it's really like I
was hoping for more, Jen.
Here I come. It's coming. Listen, when you're around people who are branding themselves, like I never even knew about really branding myself. I kept hearing it, but what did that mean? I had no meaning behind it. When you're around people closing 40, 50, 60, 100, 500 deals a year, it's like, it's my natural inclination to step the fuck up. Like I'm around, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm around people that are closing deals. I always like to look like the student, but I'm trying to run with the big dogs, right? So it was really for me, just I got more creative when I was with EXP. My branding colors. Now I'm thinking about a team, and it's really because I'm around people that are doing it, and seeing is believing. Believing is seeing, right? But sometimes I need to see it to believe it to make it happen. And for me, when I'm around these people who are creating such game changers, not only just in real estate, but like in other people's lives, I want to do that. I want to be the game changer in someone else's life. And for me, that's where it really came from. I've never had that strong urge to create something bigger for someone else's life. And now I have an opportunity because I have multiple pillars given to me that allow me to get creative.
Yeah, I actually didn't get that because I think that, most people join because, the leads or the technology or the training or the revenue share or the stock, or for whatever reason they join. But I will tell you, one of the benefits I didn't see coming, I didn't see the growth part. Like I didn't know that EXP actually is a growth company on human beings. And I think it's the collaboration that happens as a result of us all being owners that, we just want to see people grow spiritually, physically, financially, actually build wealth in real estate. And I don't think that ever happened before. All we had before was, competitiveness and kind of a little bit, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was.
Well, and I think that was the key for me. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, it was like, when you go into, if I'm going to go over to another office where, I have friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to tell me, but they don't want to tell me everything because I'm a threat to them, right? Like, just kidding. So, but what my point is like the culture, EXP. I mean, you've got like freaking the top 1%ers of realtors in the United States with EXP who have been there, done that, and are uber successful at it. And everyone's a freaking open book. I can sit there and pick their brain. It's amazing.
I saw, and I want to bring our guest up, and so I'm gonna let you. But I saw this stat. I don't even know if it, where we're at on the stat, but it was over the summer, and it said out of 50 states, we had the number one agent on 47 of the 50 states. So we had 40 in 47 states. We had the number one agent.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know about myself.
In the company. I'm gonna have to go find that. Vincent Q actually posted it, and I was like, what? And I think I'm going to go find that stat. In fact, I'm going to go verify it right now. But we came from a pretty awesome brand. I mean, I'm not going to speak bad about it. We were rock stars in our own brand, right? So we were with Exit Realty. Everything was going right. We were the #1 single brokerage in the state of Florida, year after year, actually 4 years in a row. We didn't make it that 5th year because we made the transition over, but that was our award. That's our award. You should just mail it.
That was our award.
That was our award. They didn't mail it to me. I think they were a little upset with me. But we learned a lot during that time period. And we grew our businesses. And the funny thing about it, it is also a residual income model, very similar to EXP. So what do you think? Just on residual to residual income models, what are your thoughts now about residual income in those two models?
So here's what I'll say. This is actually why I was a little hurt with EXP, because I took a pay cut. I was getting really great residual with Exit Realty. It was awesome. Like, I loved it. But
you were one of the best in the whole model.
That's right. I was trained by some of the best. But no, so honestly, I was making really good money annually. It was a mindset shift for me because I had to really think long term. So I think it's really natural for a lot of people. I don't know if it's a lot of people or just me. Maybe I'm just odd like that. But a lot of times I think very, I guess you can call it scarcity, but for me, it was like immediate, right? Like yearly, I was making this money. But with EXP, it showed me a model that was longevity. Wait, like I can completely first of all, make like 100 times more and then be retired if I wanted to in like 5 years, if I really wanted to, right? Like you can't do that with Exit. Their model, their residual plan it's not that. Not only that, there's more opportunity for agents to grow. EXP is just a sexier model. It's just more opportunities. And I think that's where we win. Is we give agents more opportunities, and we totally revolutionize the way agents are paid. So
it's
sexy.
You're the top agent in our office as far as residual income. Prior to, in 2012, and I don't think that you were actually licensed at that time. I was #1 in the nation, and I remember getting that award and thinking to myself, I can't even cash this award. It wasn't worth all the attention that I got from it, because I was embarrassed to say how much I actually got from that residual income, and I had gotten that award. And that annual income now I make monthly. So the income that they were celebrating for me, I was like the #1 agent in North America in 2012. Walked the stage, shook the CEO's hand. Now he's the founder, and it wasn't even worth what I make residually monthly.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think you see a lot of people making the move over. So if you'd like to introduce our guest, I would love that. I'll bring her up on the screen.
Yes. Alana. So, okay, so I'm going to introduce Alana. She's been a friend of mine for, I think, a couple years, I think maybe now. But not only that, Alana is, I think, is powerful. I feel like there's no work ethic like a single mom entrepreneur. And that's how Alana and I initially connected. From single mom to single mom, just both trying to make a better living for our kids so they don't have to go through the same crap we did. But only that, she's just a loving heart, a loving soul. And I'm really, really excited about what Alana has to share with us today. Alana,
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. Where did Gil go?
I was giving you the show. I was letting you be.
Here. Let's have it. Let's make it the Jen and Alana show.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Sounds exciting.
So, first off, congratulations! You just recently made the announcement that you have joined EXP, and a lot of people probably have the same question: why did you make that move? So, talk to us about that.
Well, it was hard. I definitely did my research, and Jen hounded me for like years. Come on, Alana. And I'm like, no. I'm loyal. I stay, because I give everything a shot until I see that, that there are added benefits. What?
I'm just playing with the screen. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Please don't zoom.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like super zoomed in right now.
It's okay.
But no, I mean, I like to play it out. When I get into something, I give it my all. I want to get every single benefit I can. I utilize my resources. I recruited, you know, I did leave, exit with some recruits behind, hopefully not for long though. But, you know, I took advantage of the model and the system, but you know, you have to make a certain amount before you can take home more money. And my business is picking up. 2020 has been one of the most amazing years. 2019 is when I really fully immersed myself into the business with real estate full time. Prior to that, it was a part-time gig, you know, so I never took advantage of my true potential, but I did. And I was like, holy crap, like I'm doing very well. And people are seeing that. And I get calls all the time from people across the nation. Hey, Elena, I see you're doing so well. You know, give me some feedback. Can you teach me how to get into the business? And I do. And I sit there and I coach them and I mentor them for free. So I want to take advantage of the opportunity to be able to coach and mentor these people across the nation. And I heard you guys are opening up in Mexico, which is where my familia is. And I would like to expand into that region. Yes. But yeah, I want to take home, I mean, a lot of my paychecks, like I don't see a lot of it. And I want to see more of my paycheck right away rather than, you know, months down the road.
So one of the things I think that's kind of special about you is you do have that coach's heart, you know, and you've helped agents in your office, and you know, it's funny because when you're working in a different model and you're watching people, like, you know, we see your Facebook, we see kind of what you're doing, stuff like that. But I know a lot of agents have surrounded them and they're following you, and you know, you've kind of just given back to those agents. And one of the things I can really appreciate about EXP is that, you know, we're all stock owners, shareholders in the company. And you can see, you know, as everyone kind of has that, like, I just want to give as much as I can to the company. You can see the company actually grow. In fact, Jennifer, when she first joined on, the stock, I think, might have been like $7 or $8. And, you know, it's coming up at $50. And, you know, with more leaders like yourself who have that mentality of like, I just want to give, I can easily see that, you know, we can't really say, but, you know, going way up into the stratosphere, really. And I just think that just makes a special environment. And I think that also what really special about that, it improves the consumer experience. You know, we're not hiding our best stuff anymore, right? Yeah. Like, hey, you know what? You want to do a better open house? Here, do this, do that. You know, you want to have an even more effective contract negotiations. Hey, here's what I do. By the way, here's my listing presentation. And, you know, we just kind of tighten up and we kind of get better and we start comparing. You know, I love the fact that Jennifer's like, you know, I'm looking around, I'm seeing all these people doing stuff. And I was like, I want a brand. Like, I want this.
Really?
So you said that 2000, you know, it's funny. You said 2020 was a great year for you, right? Yes. And, you know, I'm just curious, you know, we couldn't have seen 2020 come in the way it happened, right? But even, I like to say, you know, in spite of, we still won, right? So in spite of our challenges, you know, whether, you know, you've got kids or you've got, you know, the market changes, you know, my dad sold properties and interest rates were 15, 16, 17%. It's like, in spite of, people still want to make the move, right? Yeah. So in 2021, we do have some kind of insight, you know, as to what might be happening in 2021. How do you see 2021? Like, we're walking in 4 weeks away, right? I mean, we've got 4 Saturdays before we're on a new year. What do you see as the future of real estate?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I wanted to really set myself up for, like, I've been planning, you know, what is my business plan going to look like? What moves, what changes do I need to make so I can truly reach my maximum potential? And I knew that I wanted to, you know, like you said, Jen, like it's who you surround yourself with, you know, and like there's only so many people right now in my life. Like I know you guys, but I don't know you. And I'm inspired. I'm truly inspired. I do follow like you guys and Veronica. I was on the NARA board with her, you know, and I just like, I see what you guys are doing and I'm like, holy crap, like I can be like that. Like I want to learn from the best. And I love your guys' energy. I love the culture. And I need that in my life. Like those are my things that feed me, that feed my soul, to get me energized and to keep me going. But 2021 is going to be kick-ass. Like I'm setting myself up already. Like I've been doing the work, putting myself in front of people. I've had coaches try to reach out to me. They want to charge me like $600-700 a month to be coached by them. And I'm like, no, Jen said I could be coached for free over there, right?
There you go. Let's start some coaching right now. So you're a huge, like everybody does their business differently, right? I've always been in lead generation. That's kind of been my gig. You're more of a sphere of influence person, right? You have a book of business that you've built over the years. Tell me how you do that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are interested in knowing how to build a business and using sphere of influence.
Absolutely. It's the people business. It's building trust, getting in front of people, like I suck over the phone. I can't cold call. I told Jen that. I'm like, that's my weakness. I am not a cold caller. So when my mentees want advice on that, I'm like, here's some scripts. Follow these scripts. But it's not, I'm a face-to-face person. I have a genuine heart. And I think once someone truly sits down with me and sees how I work, my work ethic, I'm super, super loyal. And I give my all. I go 110% beyond like what others are doing, and with my background being in education, so I have that professional mentality already. I'm not just somebody that got their license, that passed the license and went out and I'm trying to learn the game. Like, no, like I truly care about what I do and I put my all into it.
That's so awesome.
Yes, it's just, like I love to host events. That's a big thing. I feel like a lot of my business has come from client appreciation parties or just barbecues.
So tell me about one of your best parties, your best events that you've done. It's you never know what's going to come from any of these anyway, and sometimes you just don't do it for business. You just do it because you just want to see people smile, right? So tell me about one of your best events.
My best events, Wakaiva Island, rented a canopy. We had canoes and kayaks, we had barbecues, we had some sponsors, of course it's always fun to collaborate. I love to collaborate as well. I recently did an event at Top Golf with Todd Richards with Waterstone, so that was fun. And then what's his name, with Goosehead Insurance, I just met him, Zach, so they were our sponsors for that. But my best one was at Wakaiva. Got a bunch of friends together, past clients, future clients, and it's just bringing people together. And so they get to see like, wow, like Elena's not only cool, like in the professional realm, but she's really cool to be around and fun. And like, I trust her.
Yeah.
It's just putting yourself out there to build that trust.
I think, I teach a lot of classes and, I tell agents, whether they're new agents, experienced agents, the value of connection is, it's just so important, right? I mean, we live in a Google society. People, like you say, hey, I've seen you, I follow you and stuff like that. But to truly connect and find out a little bit about someone's story and then kind of build on that and cultivate that relationship is the key to this game, right? So, you meet somebody and meeting somebody in intimate sessions and like, hey, listen, let's just chill, right? Let's just hang out. Let's get a barbecue going. Let's listen to some music and just talk about whatever comes up, right? And I think it's those things that are like not real estate.
Yes.
You build your real estate game, right?
Exactly.
But you got to be more human more often. You got to give yourself a chance, right?
Yep. So I want to share my successes with people so they know, but also like I want them to know, like how I like to have fun, what my values are,
So tell me about what you do for fun.
Well, I just went axe throwing last night.
Did you bullseye?
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm pleased at that. Gil, I'll take you down with that.
What?
Listen, I don't know if you've seen my highlight video, but like, boom.
Yeah. So we'll have to do an event there.
Oh, there you go. Bam.
Yeah, it's really close to the office downtown.
Yep. Challenge accepted. Trust me.
All right, let's go.
And then I also went and did bachata classes at Salsa Heat. So we went and did that. My partner and I, we went and danced a little bit. So that was fun, that things are opening up, and as long as we stay with the same partner, I felt okay. So we just stayed together and danced. And so I love to dance. I love to chill by the pool. We had Thanksgiving. We just stayed home, chilled by the pool, stayed outside, invite friends over.
What I'm curious about, Gil, I wanted to ask Elena, and I think it's important.
You say you're curious?
Oh, Jen.
Right, go ahead.
Oh, Gil.
No, you know what? I think it's important that people know, like, because you actually were a single mom when you started off real estate, just like I did. And you had a day job and like I was trying to figure that out. Like I was working like an on-call job when I first started. Like, I mean, but what were like some of the obstacles, and how did you actually overcome those obstacles? Because you just said like you literally made a switch somewhere in your brain, and now you had your best year ever. Like,
yeah. And that's what it was. I was scared, you know, because single mom, like I need to make sure that I can pay the rent, I can pay the bills, I can make sure that I have money coming in constantly. And I was scared to give that up, to put all my trust into real estate and wait for that commission check to come in. Yeah. But no, I mean, I went to Minnesota, and in 2019, I was seriously thinking about staying back there. I found a place to live. That's where my entire family is. I came here by myself with my 2 daughters. Like, we're going to do this, you know, and then the struggle is real, and it's hard. And I was like, you know, maybe I had some losses happen. I'm like, you know, maybe this is a sign. I'm supposed to be back in Minnesota, be around family again. And just after a lot of prayer and thoughtful consideration, I was like, you know, like my heart belongs in Florida, and I felt more motivated here than I was there, because I was trying to start a business with some friends over there doing consulting, and like it just wasn't going anywhere. I'm like, all right, like there's something missing. And then I would come back here for every deal that I was closing, and every time I came back to Florida, I felt a certain type of way, and it was that sign that I belonged here. But yeah, I was like, you know what, like I want to do real estate. I know that I can be really good at it. People even told me I could be good at it. You know, when I first moved here 6 years ago now, they were like, you should get into real estate. You'd be really good at it. And I didn't understand why, but I get it now, because you have to have the hustle, the motivation, and you have to be good at talking to people. And I had all those things. I just didn't know what career path to take that in.
Just out of curiosity, what would somebody be surprised? I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Not if like.
It's okay.
What would someone be surprised to know about you, Elena?
What?
What would somebody be surprised to learn about you?
What would they be surprised to learn about me? Well,
you know what? Actually, I'm making it more fun. Jennifer, I want you to try to guess.
Oh.
Yeah. If you had to guess something, I would guess that you are really great at ping pong.
I'm really good at everything. I'm a competitive guy. So I'm very athletic.
I actually really like ping pong, but the guy, Will Butler, a friend of mine, beats me every single time we play. But you seem very competitive. Like you brought up axe throwing. So Jen, what would you guess about her?
What would I guess about her?
that everybody would be surprised. I mean, just give it a shot.
She's really good at bachata dancing, like really good, like can do all those like backflips and like
no, she's taking classes. That's not a good guess.
Well, that was a great guess. She's a quick learner. She's competitive, and she would have learned it quick. Duh.
All right, no. I would have thought you would better guess than that. You're out. You're done.
Yeah.
Elena, so tell us something everybody would be surprised to learn about you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, like an exciting thing I'd like to share with people, because they don't believe it, you know. So I am half Mexican, born and raised in Minnesota, but I am a true Mexican, like really true Mexican. Like I love the music, I love the food, I love the culture. I'm really sad that I don't know more Mexican professionals in the area.
My wife's Mexican.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to meeting her.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. But I also used to do, I was a DJ, and I used to have the Mondays every Saturday back in Marshall, Minnesota, where I'm from, small town. I literally, this white girl made it happen.
There's a lot of ex-DJs in real estate. Charlie Santos was a DJ. Bobby Cristiano was a DJ. A lot of ex-DJs in real estate.
Okay. Well, we'll have to have a DJ competition.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing for like me.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
So wait, I gotta throw this in there because I'm noticing like we have like Vincent Koo on here commenting, watching us, and Gil, maybe you can enlighten Atlanta to Koo York and what that means. We have Trisha Turner, Todd Schroff. They're all on Facebook watching you.
Hi,
you got some real estate royalty watching you, Elena.
I said, hey, I did tell them like, hey guys, you should tune in at 10:15.
Well, these are like EXP Titans. When I say Titans, like these are people that run the world.
That's
in
awesome.
Real estate.
Yeah.
Gil can probably elaborate a little bit.
You know what I will tell you. I'm really first off, I'm honored that they're on, but I will tell you one thing that I'm really honored about is that if you have the desire to come into EXP and with a coach's heart give, and not just to your clients but those around you. I want to tell you the journey of Jennifer Carnacion. I mean, Jennifer came into real estate. She was an admin at an office, like literally watching other people make money while she was struggling to pay her bills. And I basically just gave her a decision, the same decision a lot of people have to make, right? I was like, do you want this? And if you want this, then you got to go for it, right? So I kind of watched her just kind of be like, jump in, and everybody has fear, right? When we first get into business, we had fear when we go from part-time to full-time, because we're questioning ourselves, and we always have the gift. We just have to believe in ourselves, right? But she's now in the top 1% in the company, which in the names of some of the people that were mentioned there, she's part of the Gamma Group, which is that's pretty impressive, and she did that in a year and a half, right? And there's people doing it even faster than that now. And, from somebody who came from just being a single mom, going out there hustling deals and, doing whatever, to now I can tell you, like, this new Jennifer Encarnacion, I almost don't even recognize her. She's like, showing up on time sometimes. Like
sometimes. She was just a couple of minutes late when I met with her.
No, she was early on this call. She was she's doing branding, she's doing classes, she's teaching other people how to do making calls. She invites people on call night to listen to her make calls. So she's like, creating these call night environments, and she does a bunch of different things. And it's interesting because you would think of that of like somebody who's been in the business for 25 years, right? Somebody who's in a broker or something of that nature, and she's got all the skill sets of somebody who just wanted it, right? And I think that EXP gives people the environment where that part of you grows, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because in other real estate companies, what I find is that you're just out there chasing a deal. And if I had to tell you one of the things I can say is very different about EXP, and I can tell you as a broker owner previous, as a broker owner, I'm focused on just, making the business survive, right? I mean, that's really, if we had to be very, very transparent, that's the game, right? But as we become shareholders and we're collaborating as owners, we realize it's about making sure everyone thrives, not survive, right? And what happens is when you start thinking about thriving and how do I get the best of the world? How do I achieve what, my creators meant for me to create? It's like you start thinking on a whole nother level. And when you start asking yourself better questions, guess what? You get much better results. And you start, I'm sure you've got your tickets to the Christmas party. It's coming up, I think, in 2 weeks. And we've got, a trip in Cabo. We've got all these amazing things about it. But what always comes down to is the people that you're around. And there's a reason why EXP is attracting, some of the most amazing human beings in real estate all throughout the globe. Shout out to Renzo, who just introduced someone to
in India. He just signed on an agent.
So awesome. I can't wait for Mexico to open as well. I think that's going to be some amazing opportunities there. But you're like a week into EXP.
I'm fresh. I'm still trying to do all of my rebranding.
Yeah. There's a lot.
It's so much work.
There's a lot to happen. But I'm going to tell you that it's going to challenge you, right? Because I think when we're in our old brokerages and our old mindsets, it's just about you. And the community and the fellowship that EXP provides, it's about, your partner. It's about your what I call generational wealth, or I stole that from somebody else. Like what can you do to bring in, wealth for your family's family and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Because unfortunately in real estate, we see a lot of things, but investors, we pass deals on to other people. But one thing I'm really encouraged here is that we teach people how to build wealth. Like, what do you want to do? And not just like how many transactions do you want to do in 2021? Like, what do you really want? If you just allowed yourself and said, you know what, in a perfect world, if I had all the tools and resources already at my disposal, what would I actually want to do in 2021? If I already had everything lined up and I could just say, okay, I want to make it happen in 2021. Like, I want to change the destiny of my family. What would you do? And when you start thinking on that level and just start scribbling on the board, you'd be surprised how many of those things you can do when you start focusing on that particular challenge. How do I get the absolute most from this experience we have on Earth? I didn't think about that. I didn't think that way before I turned EXP. I wasn't thinking globally. I wasn't thinking about, you know, what do I want to leave behind and things of that nature, and who do I want to touch, and how many people can I touch? You know, your goals just become exponentially larger just because of the people that you're around. So I'm excited about your future.
Thank you.
I'm excited about you introducing this model to other people so we can change even more people's lives and helping agents get to the next level.
Yeah.
But I am curious one more time.
Oh, don't do it.
It's okay.
Why did you make the change to EXP?
Seriously, okay, because Jen knows that I was debating. I was like, okay, I could go here where my partner is. She's with Charles Ruttenberg, because we do a lot of work together, a lot of business together. And so I was like, okay, I should go there. I could get my 100%. But there's nothing I love to coach. I love to educate. My passion is education, master's in education. I truly, truly love that. Going to Charles Ruttenberg, I talked to them. They're like, yeah, we could set up a system for you. You know, each deal that comes in, you could, you know, make a referral and all that. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I don't want to have to like pester someone each time. Like, oh, by the way, I helped you with this percentage. Like I deserve, you know, like I didn't want to do that. So it was the recruiting portion that drew me in. I have people in Minnesota, they want to learn the business, Texas, Wisconsin, you know, from across the nation, people are reaching out to me. So I wanted a place that has the business everywhere, or I could do things remotely, and just start building, you know, and the fact that like, if I recruit that person and they kick ass, they recruit people and I can still help and I can still benefit, you know, and thinking about the wealth of my family.
You know, it's funny because everybody comes into real estate for different reasons, but a lot of people in the back of their mind, that's like, oh, one day I want to be a broker owner, right? Mm-hmm. So, because they want to be able to create revenue share, right? Basically for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. But with this new model, which is the model of the future, and I think about like companies like Airbnb and Uber, and when they came in, you know, how they were kind of fought a little bit in the beginning and people kind of rejected them. And even my mom used to tell me, you don't stay, you're not going to live in other people's houses. That's stupid. No, 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 no. Like, you know, but the Hilton's okay. I don't know. But, and you know, when you're in the middle of rewriting the rules, sometimes there's a little bit of fear, right? But then all of a sudden you start seeing it's like, wait a minute, what if this is the future, right? And, you know, I look at 2021 and there's no doubt in my heart that this is the future of real estate, and that, you know, what we once thought was okay. Like my parents used to, I'll be honest with you, my parents used to think that, you know, staying at Howard Johnson was winning because they had free pancakes, right? But there was an evolution, right? That, you know, we deserve more. We can do different things. We can actually allow ourselves to desire more, right? And you don't have to be the broker owner to do that. I think that was probably, to be very frank with you, I wouldn't want to rewrite my past, but I would never would want to wish that on somebody, because you think you're like, hey, I want to do this because I want to make revenue share, right? I want to be able to do this stuff, but you don't understand that, you know, wealthy people don't think to themselves, hey, let me make more money, but add an immense amount of liability.
You know, and I get asked that question a lot. Like even my own family members are like,
why don't you become a broker?
Why aren't you a broker? And I'm like, I don't need to. I operate as a broker and have more people in my organization than a broker does. And I can leverage everyone else. Like,
I get to collaborate as a partnership and get all the tools and resources without the liability, but certainly the benefit, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's funny because we all have that kind of like evolution. Well, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Of course.
EXP allows you to have that next portion right off the bat. And, you know, just to kind of make a note there, you know, revenue share is nothing new. It's always existed. We didn't create revenue share. It's just before it was for the corporate. It was for the regional owner. It was for the franchisees. It was for the sales manager and the recruiters. All of them got revenue share from the agents that actually went out there and did the business. But now they got rid of corporate and they got rid of the regional owners and they got franchisees, and there's no reason for sales managers or recruiters anymore because we're all owners. We take that responsibility, and all of us together allow us to have an even greater opportunity, and we have a share of revenue. And I think that was such a brilliant, I always think that, you know, Glenn Sanford is like the mad scientist. He looked into the future and he said, okay, this is what the industry needs, right? This is what the consumer needs, right? So super excited to have you as part of the team.
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have you part of the growth, and you absolutely have me at your disposal with your team, or if you're bringing some people on, if they need some help, I'd love to sit down with them. And our entire alliance group, the concept behind the alliance group was, we kind of stole it from Jay Kinder a little bit. The whole One Big Fire is like, what if we can get all of these amazing human beings and put them together and say, what could we do? What could we do to improve the agent experience? What could we do to improve the consumer experience to a level that's never been done before? We're no longer fighting. We're no longer competing. We're in collaboration, right? And I just think that was something that, a year and a half later, we're very proud of, and it's continuing to grow, and it's working. An alliance between leaders between New York and, Oregon and New Mexico and Nevada and Arizona and just South Florida and Atlanta, and just like we're all, India, soon to be Mexico. I'll be happy to get on a plane with you, help you out and grow in that market. But, it's a fellowship, and I think that changes the game. So super excited about your growth. And if you're ever curious and you need some help with anything, feel free to push the button. I'll help.
Awesome. Thank you.
Button? What button?
You know what button. I'm not going to push it right now. Of course I'm going to push it right now. Hey, Jen, I am curious, what are your goals for 2021?
2021? My goals are really, I really want to be able to take 2 agents from disbelief to results. And so I'm still scouting. I am, I guess, like what you would call it, Gil, tryouts. That's the mode that I'm in right now. So I'm scouting and trying to figure out who those agents are. But I really do want to, that's my goal, really just to see 2 agents really fucking kill it in 2021. So
you've got an organization. I honestly don't know what your numbers are. I'm kind of ashamed. I know that you're, you built an organization over 100 people right now, 105, 110, 115. I don't know what it is. How big is your organization right now?
150 right now.
Is that really true?
Yeah, I just checked it on EXP Enterprise.
Yay!
150.
That's awesome.
Where do you see yourself this time next year?
This time next year, Elena, where do I see myself next year? What's up, Mama? 500? 500? Probably total?
Yeah, for you, triple.
Yeah, we're doing 500. We're doing 500.
500.
Elena's definitely going to be outshining me in a year. She's probably going to have 200. No doubt about it. You will.
Hey, challenge accepted.
Let's do it.
Accepted. Well, you know what? You know what the great thing about these type of things? It's recorded.
Yep.
That's true.
We're gonna make it happen.
Whatever I can do to help.
I mean, that's my biggest thing is like I wouldn't have done this in a year and a half if it wasn't for you, Gil, if it wasn't for Veronica, if it wasn't for so many people pouring into me, right? Yeah. So anyone that's eager to make this happen, and this is recorded, just come see me. Like literally, that's what I want. Elena wants it. I'm gonna make it happen. I want to grow with people who are ambitious.
Change people's lives.
That's it. That's all this is about. I feel like the purpose that we're all put on here is to change someone's lives. It's just the figuring out the how part. So, and that's what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna end this. I got this book right behind me. It's actually on this side. Chase the Lion, and it says if your dreams don't scare you, it's too small. Right.
That's right.
If you're not thinking to yourself what it takes to go after a hungry lion who wants to go after you too. And who do you have to become to go after that? Like, how audacious are you to even dream of something like that? Yeah, well, that's the only goals you should be going after, right? Yep. Love it. So,
I love growing with my friends. I love it. I can't do this alone. So I'm excited.
Let's end with that. Let's just go grow with friends. All right.
Let's grow.
Let's grow with friends. Hey, let's get some more friends. Let's grow with them too. All right. Yes. So. Appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll play again soon. Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye.